Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Christina, you are the one who reached out to me. You've just been so gracious and so just on the money. It's so good to work with your chapter, and I'm just so excited. Yes, like she said, I'm Tara Jones-Williamson, financial success coach and lifestyle designer, and my specialty is helping women use their income to create the lifestyle they desire. Simply put, right? You don't need nothing more, nothing less. Oftentimes we can create the financial life that we desire using the income we have with some intention. Okay, so that is what we're going to be talking about today, our financial goal setting workshop. But before we do, also, I wanted to say, Christine, I heard that you mentioned about April being Financial Fortitude Month. I would love to come back, love to support your chapter in any way during that month. And also, any other time during the year, please feel free to reach out. I am happy to support. So let's jump right in. I'm going to share my screen. While I'm sharing my screen and getting things set up, I want you to drop in the comment section. I use the comment section. I'll ask you to come off mute at some times to ask questions if you would like. So we're going to use the chat box right now. I want you to drop one financial goal you currently have that you're working on, or one that you want to kind of set for yourself in 2023. So while I'm getting my screen shared, let me know one financial goal you have on your list. Let's see. And I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite parts of the presentation because we're going to see how similar we are and how different we are at the same time. Like, we're always working on something. There we go. View. And full screen mode. Please let me know, Christina or someone, if you can see my screen, if you can see the presentation on the screen. Oh, I see a head nod from Edith and a thumbs up. Good. Perfect. I love head nods. And I see a thumbs up from Brandy. Thank you so much. So I'm going to open up my chat box and we're going to talk about this. To be debt free forever. You know, Lolita, that is Mary and all her lambs, because sometimes we will pay off debt and then find ourselves getting back in it. And so I love the fact that you were like, not only do I want to be debt free, I want to stay debt free. Like, I want to create systems and processes in my finances to where I don't get into that mess again. I love that. I would love to purchase another property in a different state. Ooh, Edith, I love that. Brandy said pay off all credit cards, pay off our new mortgage sooner, reduce and eliminate credit card debt, no credit card debt. Okay, continue my side hustle. I love multiple streams of income. Yes, I love that too. You know, the more money, the better. And also, the more money you have coming in, the faster you can achieve any financial goal you have set for yourself, right? Rental property. Okay, Condra, I love that. All right, so I'm going to go to the next slide, which basically talks about who I am all over again. You could continue to put your financial goals in the chat if you have any other ones. I'm going to minimize this so I can see the screen. Okay, so this is who I am. Like Christina said, I've been single mother for 10 years. I then got married, launched Your Pretty Pennies, became a full-time entrepreneur, paid off over $60,000 in less than 2 years, became a wealth building woman, now married with 3 children. I am 34 years old, and I have been debt free since 2014. All right. And so that's just a little backstory about me, kind of like why I'm qualified, why I'm here, why Christina reached out to me out of all the people. I kind of know a little bit of something about paying off credit card debt, about creating multiple streams of income in order to do so, and also saving money, increasing my income, you know, building my credit, all the good things around personal finance. So let's talk about the process of creating and I want to kind of bring you ladies back up. So I want to talk about financial goal setting. Now, before we jump into the steps that I'm going to give you, I want you to take a little bit of notes, number one. But also, number two, I want you to put yourself in the presentation. Every one of us are going to be working on a different financial goal, but the process is still the same. It does not matter how much income you have. It doesn't matter whether you rent or own right now. It does not matter how much, what job you have, nothing of the sort, your background, anything. We're all going to be doing these steps because this step-by-step process that I've used helped not only myself, but also several hundred women that I've coached create the lifestyle that they desire faster. There are other steps and other processes and other systems out there. Absolutely. This is what I found to have worked for other ambitious women who are like me and Edith, who's been traveling all around the world, period. This has been a game changer for me. Some of the extra things that I have put in my financial management toolbox, other than sending payments to my credit card debt more than once a month, or creating a budget. It's like a whole lifestyle change. It's a whole lifestyle change. And so step number 1, I want you to create your personal vision statement. Now, what a personal vision statement is, it is a statement that you're going to use and create that outlines the lifestyle you desire so you can align your finances with it. Okay, so that includes your spirituality, health and fitness, emotional health, personal development, intimate relationships, finances, business, career, giving, friends, families, hobbies. I want you to think about how you want your finances to support you in all of these areas. Oftentimes we are multifaceted, and I'm going to use my girl Edith for example. I know Edith is a traveler, but she also wants another rental property. Is that you that wants another rental property in another state, if I'm not mistaken? Right. And so she has several things going on that she wants her money to do for her, right? And so what we're going to do is each and every one of us are going to identify and declare and stand on and read every day what our personal vision statement is, because that is going to be key, right? I'm pretty sure a lot of the ladies are on here are women of God, which means that the Habakkuk, Habakkuk 2 something, where it says, write the vision and make it plain, and he who reads it can run with it, or she who reads it can run with it, right? I want you to be so clear on what you want your finances to do for you, that when you are up against whether or not to buy a new purse out of emotion, or go to Target, or go to Starbucks, or whatever your vice is when it comes to spending money and blowing your budget, right? That you will be like, no, my personal vision statement did not say I want endless Starbucks drinks. I want DoorDash every day. I want all the handbags that come out. I want to fund somebody else's lifestyle, right? Because it's one thing if we do have a goal of obtaining all the handbags that we want. Write that on your personal vision statement, right? But it's another thing if your main priority is travel and paying off credit card debt. Why isn't the majority of your finances going to that after you pay your bills, right? And so we need to get extremely clear. This is number 1. When I coach women, because they don't have a vision for their finances, a vision for their life, they're wavering when it comes to their money. The moment money comes into their bank account, they're sending it out somewhere based on emotion, based on an ad on Facebook, based on something somebody invites them to, right? They don't have anything grounding them, anything goal setting, any goal in front of them that they're like, hey, this is what my finance is doing for me in this season. Maybe next season I can do that, whatever you get invited to, right? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. All right. So step number 1, create that personal vision statement. I want you to create that tonight. I want you to create, and I'll give you by Sunday. Tonight for sure, Sunday at the latest. All right. Because if you don't do anything else, this is the first thing. We're going to get into some financial principles and financial management, but success in any area is 80% mindset, 20% function, or 20% strategy. Meaning I can teach you how to pay off debt. I can teach you how to create a budget. I can teach you how to lower your income, lower your expenses, increase your income, but you're not going to do it if you don't have anything motivating you to stick to it, right? So let's get that clear. One in the comments. I love that. We can keep going. All right. Step number 2. We're going to create SMART, S-M-A-R-T, financial goal statements. A lot of us may have heard of the SMART method for setting goals. Mine is a tad bit different. So for the A, instead of it being attainable, I use actionable, right? So I like for my SMART financial goals, and when I'm working with one-on-one with clients, we use the specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time sensitive, okay? And so this is an example of a debt payoff SMART financial goal statement, all right? And let's be clear, we're getting a lot of information in a short amount of time. Feel free to come off mute and ask me a question, interrupt me, do what you got to do, because this hour is yours. This hour is not mine, right? This is your hour. And so whatever any of us need in order to make sure we got this information down pat, feel free to stop me, okay? Feel free to put a question in the comment box. It will not throw me off. I'll be able to pick back up. So step number 1 is a goal statement about, or a vision statement about what you want your finances to do in general. Step number 2 is going to be, we're picking out one goal we're going to work on first. One goal. Put in the comment, one goal at a time. Put in the, sorry, not the comments, put in the chat box, one goal at a time. Oftentimes I see women putting several goals because we're ambitious. We like to multitask. We like to do many things at once. However, studies have shown, and even in my finances, even in the finances of women that I teach and coach, if you work on one financial goal at a time, fund that financial goal until completion, and then work on the next, you will go a lot further faster. Okay? Your momentum for that one goal will be built up faster. All right? So here's an example of a debt payoff goal. And this can be for student loans. This could be for credit card. This could be for paying off your mortgage. This could be for any debt payoff. And I'll also do some other examples based on what we've seen in the chat box. That's kind of like what I like to do to where it's realistic and it's relatable to who's in the room right now. Okay. So this is an example. I will pay off at least, and I'm going to minimize this so I can see. I will pay off at least $2,000 towards my Sallie Mae student loan during the next 12 months. I will pay an extra $167 per month on top of my minimum payment. I will work an extra 5 hours per week to increase my monthly income to cover the extra debts. All right. So let's break this down. I will pay at least $2,000 towards my Sallie Mae student loans during the next 12 months. That is very specific. It is measurable. The measurable part comes in when you have numbers, right? You can't just say, I want to be debt free. That's the main goal, right? These are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time-sensitive goals. So this is going to require some thinking, your calculator on your phone, and this is going to require some a come to Jesus moment, right? And in step 3, we're going to talk about budgeting, so you can get to what is realistic for you. That key is coming up next. However, you need to know exactly how much you want to pay off. You need to know exactly who you're paying it to and how long you're giving yourself. Write this down. I personally give myself 12 months for a goal. Even if I know it'll take me 4 months, it'll take me 6 months, it might take me 8 months, I'm giving myself 12 months. Number 1, because I don't know what the future holds. There might be some hiccups coming up in the near future where I can't put an extra $167 per month or $220 or $500 or how much I have set for me to put extra on that debt, right? However, I could get a financial windfall. I could get a financial opportunity to where I could pay it off sooner. So I'm not limited to 12 months, meaning I could pay it off in 3 or 4 if I want, but I'm also taking the financial stress off of it and giving myself some extra time because life be lifing. Right? Put a number 3 in the chat if any of us have children or any of us have spouses or any of us have ever experienced a car breakdown. Anybody ever experienced a job loss or a layoff or a government shutdown or anything like that? Life happens, right? And so, although we are excited, we are ambitious, we are focused on, achieving a financial goal, we do have to remember that we live in a world where things happen beyond our control, and we have to be able to ebb and move and flow with that without getting frustrated, without quitting, without getting upset, without getting unmotivated, without disconnecting from our goal. So if we give ourselves a little bit of time, we're able to do that comfortably. All right. Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Put a 4 in the comments if it makes sense. All right. Now, when we get to actionable, to me, this is the best part. Taking action towards your financial goal versus just saying what you want is huge, right? I can declare to the hills that I want to pay off my $10,000 credit card balance. Well, ma'am, how are you going to get there? How are you going to do that? How much are you willing to put aside on that credit card debt every month above and beyond that minimum payment, to where you're knocking down that payment that's due overall, or that balance overall, even though interest is still coming out on that credit card, right? You have to be strategic. And so whether that's an extra $500 a month, $200 a month above and beyond the minimum payment, what are we going to do? We have to declare that, right? And then let's talk about how you're going to do it. How are you going to do it? One thing I always tell my clients: increase your income, decrease your expenses. Do one or the other, or both. Okay? So when you're creating your financial goal statement, what can I give up temporarily? What can I stop spending on temporarily that will free up some money for me to pay off this credit card debt faster, or this student loan faster, right? Or what can I give up to allow me to save for the down payment on the rental property faster, if you're trying to cash flow the rental property? Right? Also, like someone said, who was that? Oh, I'm trying to remember your name, girl. Oh, actually somebody from the group, the chapter, wrote it and said that her financial goal right now is to continue with her multiple streams of income. That is going to be a game changer, right? The faster you pay off, the faster you increase your income and have, what Dave Ramsey says, a bigger shovel to scoop your debt, the faster you'll get this done, right? And so I always encourage people, think about your talents, your gifts, your abilities. What can you monetize? What can you do on the weekends? What service can you provide, right? What information can you provide? Are you great at content creation like I am, to where you can make money by making content online? The opportunities are endless. Are you a seamstress? Are you great at sewing? Right? Are you always keeping kids on the weekends anyway? Is your house the hangout spot to where you can just babysit for people who go out or who works at nights or weekends? Like, whatever that looks like, the opportunities are endless to make money. What can you do to earn some extra income? Pick up an extra shift, work overtime if you don't have small children who are not really relying on your time, right? What are some ways you can increase your income to where you can attain your financial goal of debt freedom, of financial freedom, of another rental property faster? Sometimes, and what I mean by sometimes, I mean all the time, we have to be the seed, and we have to plant the seed ourselves in order to get the ball rolling on our goal. So what are you temporarily sacrificing or temporarily giving up in order for you to attain that in which you wrote on this goal, for this goal? All right. Put a 3 in the comments if that makes sense. It's a 3. It's a 3. It's a 3. All right. Does anybody want to come off mute and ask any questions? I can talk about this all day. Y'all see the passion. I love talking about this. All right. I don't see anybody popping up, so I'm going to go to the next slide. This is my favorite part, y'all. Okay, listen, a little bit about me. So before I launched my business, before I launched my website and start coaching people, I actually did locally and at my church, where I did budget analysis and review for free, where I just sat down with people, looked at their income and their expenses and said, okay, you just gotta first, Oftentimes people don't even sit down to create a budget, so they oftentimes don't even know how much income they truly have coming in, and they don't know their expenses. And when I sit down and teach them how to create a budget, I use the zero-based budget method so they can see how much money they have left over to go towards a financial goal. Oftentimes, without increasing their income or decreasing their expenses, they have room. They're just impulsively spending out of emotion, and don't have intention around their money. So oftentimes you give yourself a raise, quote unquote, just by getting your finances in order and actually looking at what's coming in and what's going out. I'm just saying. So let's go to step 3. And we're going to do what is called adding your financial goal to your monthly budget. Now, like I said, I love using the zero-based budget method, which means your monthly income minus your monthly expenses equals 0. I like to budget on a monthly basis. I like to break down money to where it's easy, it's digestible, and for me, that's month to month, right? And so when I create a zero-based budget for myself, and also majority of my clients, we are tithers, we are givers, it is what it is. And so when we write our income, the first thing we write is 10% of that income for tithes or giving, okay? And then we write down saving 10%. Because in my opinion, no matter what your financial goal is, and if your goal is savings at this point, you'll just increase that amount that you'll put towards saving. But the minimum that you save that month, no matter what your financial goal is saving 10% in a savings account, all right? And right now, a high yield savings account, because you can get like 5% interest. That's a little tip from me to you. A high yield savings account, look into it. Capital One has one. Goldman Sachs with Marcus has one, Ally has one, but just write that down. If you do not have a high yield savings account for just a standard savings account, look into that, all right? And then you pay all your monthly expenses and then your monthly financial sub goal, all right? So giving, saving, monthly expenses, financial goal. Those are the 4 things that should be in your budget, okay? And so let's say, for example, you have $5,000 in your of income, right? And I want y'all to do this with me. We're gonna write down, because I want y'all to get used to what it looks like. All right. So $5,000 on your sheet of paper. We're gonna put that as the top as income. All right. And so what is, let me know in the chat, what is 10% of $5,000? How much are we tithing or giving that month? Each month. What is 10% of $5,000 income? And you can use your calculator if you need to. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm not seeing anybody in the chat. I'm sure private people are 500. Okay, thank you, Christina. 500. So we're going to save 500. Or we're going to give 500 and then we're going to save 500, right? Because both are 10%. So in my mind, I don't live off of, if this was my money, I don't live off 5,000, right? I live off 4,000, because 500 is going to tithes, 500 is going to savings, my high yield savings account. So I only got $4,000 to pay my bills and achieve my financial goal, right? And so let's say, for example, and I'm due for the interest of time, all your expenses come up to, let's say, $2,500. And that includes groceries, gas, your rent, utilities, everything comes up to $2,500. How much do we have left? So if you get your calculator, that's $5,000 income minus $500 from tithing, $500 from savings, $2,500 from all your monthly expenses. You are left with $1,500. What am I going to do with that money? Now, typically what people do who do not budget, they don't even realize that they have money left over after they tithe, save, and pay all their monthly bills or allocate money to their monthly bills on paper. They don't even realize it, because the moment that they spend, the moment that they get money in their bank account, they're at the fast food line getting food every day for lunch. They're at Starbucks. They're at Target spending their money because they're frustrated. They're getting the latest and greatest hair products that come out on the market. They're buying weave. They're buying shoes. They're buying clothes. They're buying whatever they see on Instagram from their favorite boutique. Like they're buying shopping, to where they don't even sit back and say, okay, this is how much I have to go towards a financial goal, right? So what I mean is, after the tithing, saving, monthly expenses, you need to allocate the rest of that money, whether it's $1,500, like in our example, $500, $300, $800, $80, towards your financial goal. What is your financial goal? It could be building up your savings. It could be paying off that credit card debt. It could be whatever it is that you're working towards, right? Putting money in a pot for your rental property, right? Whatever that looks like. So then, if you have a positive number, if I subtract $500, $5,000 from $500, $2,500, I got $1,500 left. I'm not done budgeting. It's not at zero. So if I have a positive number, that amount, whatever that is, can go towards my financial goal. In this case, it's $1,500. For some of us, it might be $200. For some of us, it might be $2,000, right? But you need to allocate in your monthly budget that you are going to put this money towards a financial goal. Otherwise, you'll find yourself, like we talked about in the beginning, just spending frivolously, spending however you want, spending however the wind blows, okay? Does that make sense? Let me know if you want me to go over that again. If you want me to touch on something, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. I see a 1. Let me get a couple more 1s to make sure. If it doesn't make sense, put a 2 in the chat. I'm seeing some 1s. I see some 1. Okay, I see some 1s. So it makes sense. It's clear. All right. All right. Now, what happens if you create your zero-based budget and you put your income at the top and you start subtracting the monthly expenses, and even before you are able to save and tithe, you at a negative number? That means you have more expenses than income coming in. And again, it doesn't matter your income, because if you have $5,000 income, but you have $6,000 of expenses going out, ma'am, how are you going to achieve that financial goal that you set for yourself? How are you going to actualize the vision statement? Did somebody come off mute? Does somebody have something to say? Okay. How are you going to actualize that, right? If you have a $2,000 income, but you only pay $500 in expenses, you are better off because you have $1,500 left over to put towards your financial goal, saving and tithing, than the person who makes $5,000 but spends $6,000 a month, right? So as we start to create a budget, we realize that oftentimes it's not the income that's our issue. It's the spending. It's the lack of financial discipline. It's the lack of intentionality and sitting down and planning out our finances. That's the issue, right? All right. So I'm going to move on. If y'all got any questions, drop it in the chat. I can answer it at the end. All right. Step number 4, check in and track your progress at least monthly. Oh, and by the way, if you are in need of some financial tools for like budgeting, for tracking your expenses, like Christina read in the bio, I did create the Ultimate Financial Planner. It's on my website, where you get 12 months of budgets, debt trackers, savings trackers, all those good things all in one book, okay? And I also have a digital version of a zero-based budget, to where you could just input the numbers, input the expenses, and then it'll calculate everything for you. So head over to yourprettypennies.com if you need financial tools to support you. Everything I talk about, I have financial tools to go with it. Sorry about that. I meant to mention that. So let's talk about tracking our expenses. And this is a picture of the Ultimate Financial Planner. This is the monthly budget page, right? So I'm going to minimize the chat for a second. So check in and track your progress. Your financial plan doesn't work unless you do. So let's go back to the beginning. At this point, over the weekend, you have created your big picture goal, right? This is my vision for my finances. These are the areas in which my finances are going to support me. This is what I'm going to be intentional about my money starting now. Although, we kind of get in gear for 2024, but starting now, I'm going to be intentional with my money, right? You're declaring it. So you create your vision statement. And then step 2 is, okay, I'm going to pull one goal out of that main goal, out of that main vision, and I'm going to work on it first, right? I'm going to pay off credit card debt, or I'm going to save $5,000, or I'm going to buy my first rental property, whatever that looks like, right? And you create that goal. And then step 3, you're going to create your budget, and you're going to make sure inside of your budget, you can see your financial goal, and you see how much you can put towards your goal and every month, and you can see that it's realistic and you gave yourself some time to get it done. All right. Now, step number 4 is going to be the second most important thing. You got to stay with it. Your financial plan does not work unless you do. Whenever we're creating a monthly budget, now this is cute. I'm not about to hold you. Let me go get this financial planner so y'all can see how cute it is, because it's cute. I'm not going to hold you. It's cute. Right? You get excited. You get it in the mail. You write in it. You got your favorite pen. You're going to write in it, right? And then it just goes right in your bag. And you don't touch it again. Who is that helping? Let me know in the comments if you get a financial planner, or if you write it down in a notebook and you write, you made the best budget you ever made in your life. And then you just let it sit there. You close that notebook. It's on your desk at work. It's at home on your coffee table. It's at home on your side table with a cup over it, using it as a coffee coaster. Who is that helping? Let me know who's helping. Let me know who's helping. No one. Your financial plans doesn't work unless you work it. It's one thing to write it down. In step 3, we're going to write it down. Oh, we're going to plan it out. Oh, it's going to be nice and cute, right? But step number 4 is, girl, you got to stick to it. You got to stick to it. And this is why I say in step number 1, creating that vision statement is going to be key, because there's going to be times where it's going to be, oh, Ivy Park just dropped a new line. Okay, Beyonce tickets just popped up. Okay, your new Steve, if you like Steve, what's my favorite brand? Coach. Coach be dropping purses, and then they be putting the ads on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page. I am a sucker for Coach purses. Let me know. Put a 4 in the chat if you are a sucker for Coach purses like I am. The quality, leather, but the price point, to me, and the nostalgia. My mom was a Coach purse girl, so that's why I became one. It's the whole thing. And so Coach, if I'm not careful, can get all my coin that I set aside for a financial goal. Because then, somebody put Chanel. You expensive. Okay, Edith traveling around the world. She said, and Chanel could get her coin. Listen. And we know they be having some drops. And we know people on social media, our favorite influencers, the favorite people we love to watch, will hype you up to thinking you got to have that handbag, not now, but right now, right? And so there's going to be times where you are going to want to get off track. There's going to be times where you ain't going to feel like cooking. Marissa said it's the shoes for her. Let me know your favorite shoe brand, by the way. I'm curious. I love shoes, but I'm not like a loyal shoe brand. I don't have a shoe brand that I'm like loyal to. Lolita said boots and electronic gadgets. You like my mom. My mom, any iPhone that's coming out, any new iPad, any new MacBook, especially Apple for my mom, she's getting it. She's blowing a bag on it. She's getting it. She's getting it. Absolutely. Amazon is her weakness. Marie, girl, you ain't told not one lie. Amazon will get all your coin if you're not careful. If you're not careful. And this is why no certain brand. I like Italian leather shoes. Me too, Marissa. I just like leather shoes, especially if I go thrifting, if I go shopping, if I'm in a store. It don't matter where I am. If it's a leather upper and it's cute, you almost guarantee. And I got a coupon on it. I need to have a coupon on it. I don't care if it's 10%, 5%, 20%. It's probably coming in my bag, right? All my shoes are leather, like my flats, my boots, things like that. I do like leather, especially because I have big feet and they stretch and they get comfortable after a while. The leather, it just breaks down and just like molds to your foot. Girl, I love a good leather shoe. Okay. So y'all get me. Y'all understand that there's just certain weaknesses that we have, right? And if you're not careful, you'll be funding Chanel's financial goals. You'll be funding Apple's financial goals. You'll be funding Amazon's financial goals more than yours, right? Now, I'm not saying I am not that coach. Listen, thrifting is not helping me in my finances, girl. We need to talk at the end because I went to the thrift store and this is a little caveat, then I'll get back. I went to the thrift store yesterday. First of all, they're hiking up the prices more than they used to. I am obsessed with going to the thrift store, finding brands that are like $100 and $200 brands, paying $6.99, $7.99 for it. But back in the day, we'd pay like $2.99, $3.99 for it. Girl, no, now you're paying clearance prices at Target. Basically, that's how they got it priced. And so I'm like, these prices, although it's a really good deal, I still look like with my nose up in the air, like, Goodwill, y'all need to come down on these prices. But I digress. I love thrifting. And yeah, I spent about $100 in there yesterday, and I didn't get nearly half as what I could get $100 3 years ago. But anyway, I digress. What was I saying? Yeah, if you're not careful, and when you have your vision statement, it allows you to stay focused. Now, what I was going to say is in step 3, when you create your monthly expenses, what I want you to do is I want you to take into an account what your weakness is or what your splurge is, and give yourself some money to put aside some money in your budget. You could put it as splurge accounts, personal spending, personal allowance, personal allotment, whatever the case is. And so maybe it's $200 you give yourself every month, but you know something that you want costs $1,000. Well, since you're going to have to save your personal money and build it up in order to pay for said thing. Or if you like me, I have a separate savings account for my personal spending, and I like to just keep it there until something catches my eye that I'm like, I have to have it. I kind of just build it up until I have to have it, because I know I'm the type of girl who wants big ticket items, but I also thrift and want small ticket items. And so I always need to have money in my personal spending account that I can transfer money to my checking account to spend whenever I need to. Or if you are a credit card spender, you could put the expense on the credit card to get the miles or the points or the cash back, but then pay your credit card off with that money from your personal account. Make sense? So if you know, yes, Eda said treating yourself is important. Exactly. We are not, my Jesus didn't die on the cross for me to be nickel-ing and diming. Last time I checked in Genesis, it said, this world is yours, take dominion, subdue it. So I'm not about to be out here looking like no peasant, regardless of what my financial goal is. It's just not going to happen. And so you going to see in my budget some money set aside for myself, right? I'm the one earning this money, so I'm going to help spend this money, right? But I'm not spending all of it, right? I'm intentional. I'm not spending all of it, right? That is the biggest thing. And so when you are checking in with your finances on a daily check-in, a weekly check-in, a monthly check-in, this is going to keep you on track. Now, for a lot of people, including myself, it took about 3 months to really get a grasp on a good solid budget that's functional, that works, that you're comfortable with, that you can execute every month. The first couple of months, you might be like, oh, dang, I forgot I have this subscription coming out, or I forgot about this irregular expense that comes out every October, or, just different things like that. Just give yourself grace to kind of tweak your budget each and every month. And about month 3, mark my words, month 3, you're going to have all the income sources. You're going to either develop some more income streams by then. You're going to have a handle on what's your typical income. You're going to have a handle on your expenses. You might forget a couple first month or second month. By third month, you'll have all your expenses written down. You'll have decided how much you usually spend on groceries. You'll have decided how much you want to give yourself for extra treating yourself spending. And for the ladies who are travel enthusiasts, always have a line item to set aside a little bit of money for travel. Travel is not a major financial goal. Travel should be an expense. If you're constantly traveling, put it in like a bill to where you pay yourself, or you pay a separate savings account, labeled travel fund. So basically whenever you get paid, you transfer a little bit of money from your checking account to your savings account labeled, nickname it travel fund, to where you always have money set aside for travel. Because I'm not a travel enthusiast, right? I got 3 kids. I was suffering from anxiety for a while. I couldn't even travel very much, be on an airplane. I don't need no travel fund. I don't travel that much, right? But for some of us, like Edith and anybody else, you might travel a lot. You might find yourself Delta conventions. You can put that in there, literally put it as a line item, as a monthly expense. If you want to put $50 towards Delta convention, $100 towards travel fund every month, or every pay period to where you do it $200 a month, whatever that looks like, put that in there. Put that in there to where your budget works for you, right? Your monthly expenses don't have to just be bills that, it's other people, for utilities, for groceries, for things. It can also be things that that will support your lifestyle, your current lifestyle. And if I didn't say that, I'm sorry, I should have said that. But yep, put that in there. Anything that you could think of. If you have a dog, put the dogs like a separate fund for shots, for emergencies, for dog food, for clothes. I know some of y'all be dressing y'all dogs up in clothes, so I know y'all need a fund for that. I'm not judging, but I see it on TikTok all the time. So I know y'all need a line item in y'all budget for that. So grooming, right? If you have kids, I have a account where I send money, so where it builds up over time, and then in the spring, because again, in Michigan, we have like 2 seasons. It says 4, but we really have 2. It's either cold or hot here. It's no in between. And so I just do a large shopping haul for them for spring and summer clothes, but it's really just summer clothes. We won't get no spring. It just be cold in spring. So you still wear your winter clothes in spring. And then one day you look up, it's 80 degrees, and then you breaking out the shorts. And so I typically only spend for my children twice a year. And then whenever their grandparents take them shopping or something like that, that's when they'll get more clothes. But other than that, that line item is in my budget, right? As a monthly expense to pay from my checking account to a separate savings account labeled children fund. And typically what I do is pay for their clothes and shoes out of there. Put a 3 in the chat if that makes sense. Put a 3 in the chat if that makes sense. 3 in the chat. All right. The next one. Step number 5, create monthly money rituals and routines to ensure you reach the finish line. Now, this is a game changer as well. What I do is I like to make managing money fun, a lifestyle, because unfortunately we live in a capitalistic society. We have to manage money. We have to learn how to manage money. Otherwise, it'll manage us, right? So it's like, when in Rome, do what Romans do, unfortunately. So why not make it fun? For me, I like making everything fun, right? My hair is, when I first went natural, my hair was like a thing that annoyed me. Now I make it fun. I'm creative with it. I made it a fun thing, an enjoyable thing in my life, right? Managing money is no different. I've taken the negative emotion away from it, right? I've handled my debt. I've faced my financial issues. I've faced my financial habits and things that I did wrong. I've forgiven people who got over on me financially, right? And I turned it into a positive part of my life, right? And that's what I think a lot of us need to do. We need to turn finances from a negative part of life, get over, heal, forgive those things, either as ourselves or other people, ex-husband, whatever, and then make it more positive and have fun things that you're doing around your money, right? Because we got to manage it after all anyway. We got to use it to create the lifestyle we desire anyway. And so one thing that I created that my audience actually may help advise me to create, I would say, is a budgeting bundle box, which is the things that I use in order to make managing money fun. In order, when I do my sit downs for my budgeting at my desk, I have a candle, I have my affirmation cards, I have a meal planning pad, I have a notebook, I have my financial planner, I have a really cute pen. And so when my people in my community seen that, they're like, make a bundle box for us. And so I have a few on my website. There's a few left. that you can grab if you want to make it fun, And then I also have the financial affirmation workbook where every day you do a 30-day, every day you do a financial affirmation based on scripture, and you could just say it over your finances. You can journal about it. You can say what it speaks to you. You could just do whatever you want to do with it, but you get 30 days of journaling around money to kind of reset your money mindset, kind of forgive yourself, forgive others, do different things to where you can turn managing money from a negative experience to a positive experience. All right. So now let's jump into questions. If you want to connect with me, info@yourprettypennies.com. I'm everywhere on social media at Your Pretty Pennies. And so, again, you're everywhere on Your Pretty Pennies. And so let's jump into Q&A now.